Ooh, oh, it's getting cold. What's up, my YouTube family? How you guys are all doing? Hopefully everybody's staying safe. A lot of you liked that video of, you know, the dislikes that I did for the Spyder F3. I was surprised that it was gonna hit off like that. You know, it only has 1,000 view and change, but you know, for a new channel, that's impressive. You know, that's I'm climbing up the ladder little by little, you know, getting the content out there to people like me that likes to have some insight of different things. But let's jump right into it. Today is gonna be 5 things I like about the Spyder F3. Let's start with the visuals, the appearance of this bike. This bike, it's beautiful, sexy. This bike is full of elegance. It's very classy. You know, this bike, you could make it to look sporty, but you know, you could wear absolutely anything with this bike. Now, I like to wear my gear just because, you know, like, I had some experience where, like, you know, rocks, and if it's raining, you know, I like to be protected at all times. You never know what could happen. But when I'm gonna go out, you know, like going in the city or town, something like, you know, I'm not taking out a highway, I will wear something nice and comfy, you know. Let's jump into number 2. Storage capacity on this bike. Just with the frunk, I'm gonna put a video right here. I know a frunk sounds strange, but it's a trunk in the front. I had it for about a year and change, only wear my book bag and using the frunk. It did its job, you know. It was pretty good on how much things you could fit in that frunk. You know, commuting to work, you know, this is my daily commute bike. I commute on this every single day, and I was using that frunk every single day. And doesn't matter the weight I put. I probably put like 80 pounds in that frunk, and that frunk is still standing still, which is, you know, I'm very amazed at it. And now with this tail bag that I have on, it's even more amazing. But yeah, let's jump into number 3. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Think. Reliability. This bike, hopefully you guys can hear me. Wow, it's very windy. Very. And we're about to hit 55 here soon. Reliability on this bike, this is bulletproof. This bike has not given me any problem whatsoever. Zero. The department of reliability in this bike, it's 100 stars, 5 stars. Gotta give it 100, you know. I like to exaggerate sometimes. But I hear a lot of people, especially motovloggers that they have a Ryker, that they be having problems with a couple of things, electronics. This bike has no problem at all, other than, you know, the cosmetic things that I was telling you guys about in the dislike video. But that's cosmetic. You could just, you know, I could just switch this cap off, change it, that's it. You could always change the grill, you know. Let's jump into number 4. Oh, I'm gonna get some hate. Woo! I love this. Safety. If you are afraid to balance a two-wheel motorcycle and you're wondering what bike you should get, I do not want to disqualify a Ryker by all means. You know, you could always get a Ryker. You know, it depends. I'm not sure what it is. Is the recall? I have no idea. You got to do a little bit of more research. But when I got this bike, I didn't do no research. I just saw the bike. I fell in love with it. Went to the dealership. They said it's gonna take about 2 to 3 weeks to get it built up from the crate. I had anxiety. I couldn't sleep. I thought I was gonna die from a heart attack in my sleep. This bike, you'd never ever have to worry about dropping this bike. That's what I mean by safety. You don't have to worry about the balance of the bike, the weight of the bike. You know, you still gotta watch out for corners. You know, if you're taking a corner too hot and you think the bike is gonna help you 100% in every situation, then you're wrong. You know, you gotta have common sense. But you never have to worry about dropping this bike. And I know a lot of people have transitioned from two-wheel to three-wheel because, come on, you know, it's more safe. It is more safe. I don't care what anybody says. I've been driving sport bike for years now. And when I tell you that this bike feels more safe, I'm telling you the truth. I am not, you know, I don't work for Can-Am whatsoever. This is my honest opinion. You take it if you want it. Riding in the rain, but I'm gonna put a clip right here. You can see for yourself. This bike handles very, very well. Sometimes I am very surprised how wonderful this bike is with the handling department. Can you imagine doing some drift in this bike? Oh man, I just don't like to get all crazy, you know. I like to do everything by the books. I don't want to get too much recognition and people start knowing that I'm doing stupid things, which a lot of moto vloggers, they just buy a supermoto just to do a lot of wheelies and do stupid things. And you know, when you play big games, you win big prizes. I just don't understand this world. Just to get a reaction of people getting your own self in trouble, especially your license, jeopardizing your license. But that's another topic, man. I don't want to get into that. Number 5. If you could guess, just take a good guess. Let me sit back and give you 2 seconds. 1, 2. Okay. I don't want to say it like that because, you know, anything could happen. Anything could happen. But this bike, the security that you feel with this bike, I want to say is like, is it anti-theft or theft proof? I mean, think about it. For you to steal a bike like this, you need a whole crew. I mean, it can't be that easy. I just know it. You know, this bike, you could park anywhere. Oh, this phone looks like it's about to come out. But you can't just steal this bike. No. This bike's, you can't. You can park anywhere and you have a peace of mind. Now, if you park somewhere where it looks suspicious and something happened to your bike, that's a whole different story. But this bike, it has to be very hard to steal. And one of the reasons why I actually bought this bike, what got me into buying this bike, I just knew this bike was very reliable, you know, just the way it looked, you know, and the way it was built. When you look at it, you just could tell, you know, it's not a piece of junk, you know. It has its price tags for a reason. You know, it has a 1300 Rotax engine in it, I believe. I might put the specs right here so you guys could take a look at it. And let me give you guys a bonus. Comfortability. This bike, it's, let me say it's the Cadillac, right? But let me hold you right there. The Cadillac, you know, they have the Cadillacs, Escalades. So this is not the Escalade department. That's why they have the RT. This is the Cadillac CTS. This bike comfortability, I love it. I just love it. And this is why it was so hard for me to make a five list of things that I love about this bike, because I could go all day long with this, you know what I mean? All day long. Even in the snow, I kid you not, I drove it around the block and it was just snowing so bad I had to like return back into my driveway. When I got into my driveway, it was still some snow. It was some snow, and wow, my helmet is very foggy. Wow, it's cold. It was and I'm gonna put a picture so you can see. I'm not even making it up. I got into my driveway and it was, you know, I had my rain boots and everything, and then by the time I got back to my driveway, it was so much snow, and this bike, it made it up my, you know, my driveway is a little steep. So yeah, you know, you needed some momentum to get up the driveway, and this bike did it. You know, can you imagine being a motor vlogger and trying to make videos in the winter? This is the machine for it. Like I was saying, you know, it's just so many things that I love about the bike. It's comfortable, it's perfect, you know, in every aspect you could think about. In the rain, in light snow, you know, gravel. When you're driving in gravel roads, on paved road, it takes potholes like a champ. It takes a lot of, you know, you cannot avoid potholes with this bike, but it takes it very well. You know, the suspensions in this bike is very good. And I'm gonna get some of these guys telling me about going to an advanced course for 3-wheel bike. I ride this bike every single day. I know what I'm talking about. So with that being said, thank you very much for subscribing to my channel, liking the video, supporting the small channel, because I know how hard it is to, you know, just going on YouTube and look at a new channel. You don't know what they're about, if they're gonna make like boring content. You know, I'm trying my best. It's pretty, you know, it's a pretty complicated thing that you just get in and you just like, oh, you don't even, you know, it's a different whole type of world. You're talking to yourself basically. But when you see a lot of people, look at this, no turn signal. The way that people drive here, it shocks me every single day. They don't use a turn signal. So like I was saying, it's hard to get people to just like click on your video when you're new and you barely have any subscribers. But you know what? I am very grateful. 2 months ago, I had only 5 subscribers. We are at 130. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I will be making more content. You know, any questions you guys have, comment below. Appreciate every one of you guys. And with that being said, stay safe at all times. Until the next one.